You used to be able to handle a lot, multitasking, keeping things running, holding everything together, and lately you're just more tired, more scattered, more short-fused. Your patience is running thinner, and pushing harder just makes it worse. For a long time, I thought this was just aging, or that I was becoming somehow less capable. But recently, I came across something that completely reframed this for me. And the more I sit with it, the more it explains what I'm experiencing and what I see so many women going through. It's called ultradian rhythms. Ultradian rhythms are natural biological cycles shorter than 24 hours. And the one that matters most for daily life is your brain's 90 to 120-minute work recovery cycle. Your nervous system isn't designed for continuous output. It works in waves. Focus rises, you hit a peak, and then there's a natural decline, followed by a real need for recovery. That drop isn't laziness, and it's not a discipline issue. It's physiology. And here's where this got a little uncomfortable for me. I am very good at overriding that dip. I've done it for years, and honestly, I've been a little proud of that. It's like it meant I was tough, I was capable, I can get ahead. And in some ways, yes, it did get me ahead, but I'm starting to see the cost now. And when I consistently override that rhythm, I notice the same pattern. By the end of the day, I'm more easily irritated. I have no bandwidth for anyone else. I just want to check out. So what I'm realizing now is that these aren't personality issues. They're the natural consequences of pushing your nervous system to stay on all day. When you do that, cortisol doesn't get a chance to come down, so mental fatigue builds. And over time, the strategy that once worked, stops working. That's where midlife really changes the equation. Ultradian rhythms exist in everyone, men and women, but the cost of overriding them isn't evenly distributed. Women carry a lot of cognitive and emotional load, not just tasks, but tracking, anticipating, managing relationships, holding things in their mind, and our stress recovery is more hormonally sensitive now. Progesterone, which normally has a very calming and buffering effect on your nervous system, as it fluctuates and declines, which happens in perimenopause, recovery costs more. Stress lingers longer, sleep becomes lighter. That same push-through strategy that once worked for you, it starts producing symptoms instead of results. That's where you may notice persistent fatigue, brain fog, irritability, lower tolerance for stress. This is because your capacity has changed. If this explanation helps you make sense of what you're experiencing, you can subscribe here. I share more of these 5-minute nuggets and longer conversations like this. So here's what's happening biologically. When you repeatedly work past your ultradian limit, cortisol stays elevated, and adenosine, which is a chemical signal for fatigue, starts accumulating. Emotional regulation weakens, your nervous system stays in activation without enough recovery. So, what if instead of asking, how do I push through this? We asked, what would it look like to respect how my nervous system actually works now? Here's what I learned. Respecting ultradian rhythms is actually very simple. It means working any 90 to 120-minute focus blocks, followed by real recovery. Ideally, that recovery is about 15 to 20 minutes, long enough for the nervous system to shift out of high alert. But I know, who's got the time to take a 20-minute break every 2 hours? So even 5 or 10 minutes helps, if it's real rest. And real rest is not switching tabs, checking messages, scrolling. A real ultradian break can look like stepping outside for a walk, light stretching, like a short yoga or a qigong practice, closing your eyes, slowing down your breath, letting your attention soften. It could be looking out a window or at a horizon. What matters is reduced input, reduced decision-making, reduced sensory load. If your brain is still processing, like listening to a podcast or checking your messages, that's not resting. Scrolling doesn't count. All of these keep your nervous system activated. You'd be surprised how much changes when this rhythm is honored. Cortisol starts to cycle instead of accumulating. Focus comes back more easily. Emotional reactivity softens. Sleep improves. And here's the bigger realization for me. This isn't about doing less. It's about going farther. Life is not a race to the next outcome. It is a long journey I actually want to stay well for. I don't need to drive myself like a horse to get ahead. I want a nervous system that can sustain me for decades. I'm sharing this with you not as a lesson, but as a nugget I found worth sharing. Because once I saw this, I couldn't unsee it. And it's already changing the way I take care of myself. We need to learn to work with our body, not against it. And for me, that feels like a much more intelligent way forward. If you would like more support in navigating this transition, not just understanding things mentally, but living it differently, you can find more resources and my coaching work at ownyourbecoming.com. That's where this work continues.